What are you doing in my swamp?
Hello everybody, this is Ogre Boy, and I'm going to be doing my review for the 1942 movie, The Ghost of Frankenstein. So, this movie picks up not too long after Son of Frankenstein, at least I don't think it's very long afterwards, and, in this movie, Igor is, still living in the Frankenstein castle, and the villagers decide to go demolish the castle, and they start to blow it up. And as Igor is escaping, he finds out that the monster has survived falling into the sulfur pit from the end of the last movie, and is able to get him and take him with him, and they go to this new village and everything, where they find the younger son of Dr. Frankenstein, named Ludwig Frankenstein, and Igor is trying to get him to continue his father's experiments so that he can get his brain transplanted into the monster skull and get his revenge on the villagers. This one was just, it was okay. I didn't hate it or love it. I thought it was just alright. I love Frankenstein, as I've said before. The first three movies I thought were all pretty good movies, especially the first two. And especially Bride. Like, I love Bride of Frankenstein, but Son of Frankenstein I thought was a step down, and this one is once again another step down from Son of Frankenstein, which I thought was still a pretty good movie, despite being really hard to follow the Bride of Frankenstein. I thought Son of Frankenstein was still really good. This one I thought was just okay. It had some good moments and stuff. The cast in here are all pretty good, especially Bela Lugosi's Igor. He's still once again really good, although he didn't really steal the show in this movie like he did in the previous movie, but he still is great in here. Lon Chaney Jr. plays the monster this time around, and I think he was alright. I personally prefer Boris Karloff as the monster. I think he's way better, but I think Lon Chaney Jr. did a good enough job. But kind of like with how Son of Frankenstein was written, the monster just isn't as interesting in this movie. But I do like that they take some of his characteristics that, like he had in the first movie, where, like this one, he has a friendship with this little girl and stuff that I thought was kind of cool, kind of reminiscent of that one little scene in the first one where he accidentally drowns a girl and everything. One of my favorite scenes in that movie was that little interaction with that girl and everything, and he has one with this girl in here, and the monster wants to have her brain put in his head, but she doesn't want to have her brain put in his head. And luckily that didn't happen, because that would have been really weird. But this movie has a pretty weird ending and everything, but there are a lot of callbacks to the original movie in this one, which I thought was kind of cool. Once again, the makeup effects looked really good, although personally I feel like it was just way too obvious that it wasn't Boris Karloff as the monster, and to me it kind of just took me out of the movie a little bit. Like as part of this franchise, it was off-putting. But I still think it was pretty good. It has some good sets, and cinematography and stuff is still pretty good. Not as good as it is in a lot of the other monster movies, but it was fine in this movie. But I think this is also just a step down in this franchise so far. Following the Wolfman, though, it was gonna be pretty hard to beat. But it does have its fun moments and everything, and the cinematography is pretty good in here, and the rest of the cast are all pretty good. Cedric Hardwicke is Ludwig Frankenstein, I think is pretty good. He fits the role well enough and does a good enough job. And Evelyn Ankers, who was in The Wolfman, playing the love interest in that, is in here as Elsa Frankenstein, the daughter of Ludwig Frankenstein, and she's pretty good in the little bit of screen time she gets. She doesn't really have a lot to do in this movie, but she's still really likable and everything. And I love like the little connections this one has to the previous movies and stuff. So it kind of ties stuff together from them, where the continuity is written really well. But all in all, I think the Ghost of Frankenstein is okay. It's not terrible, not super great. It just it's alright. It has some really fun moments and everything, but it's not one of the best in the franchise. So I'd say I'd give this one a 6 out of 10. It's a fun movie, but it's one I could handle watching every now and then, but it's not one that I really would want to find myself rewatching very much, just because the story just isn't as strong in this one. But it's okay. And that's one thing I will say, though. Even though this isn't like a super great movie, it's still watchable, and these movies are fun to watch, at least. So, but yeah, anyway, let me know in the comments what you think of The Ghost of Frankenstein, if you've seen it. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and have a good day, everybody.